Apocalypse Survival Camp. Decided to make one of those PVC bows I keep seeing all over the internet. Tried one the other day and it turned out it was just way too weak for me. I'm a pretty big guy, pretty strong. I like a little bit more powerful bow. Decided to try and make it a little bit stronger, and what I ended up doing, I took a 1-inch piece of PVC pipe 5 feet long and a 1/2 inch piece of PVC pipe, and I put them one inside the other so it would be stiffer. And I made sure that the small one was about 2 inches longer than the big one, and that's actually how I got my knocking points on it, or my string knocks. Just something I experimented with. I hadn't seen that on the internet anywhere yet, and I didn't want to use like a big 1.5 inch piece of PVC pipe because I wanted the handle a little bit smaller. But I tested it with some weights, and this one pulls right about 55 pounds. It's very powerful. It actually takes, even for me, takes most of what I got just to get it back. But it really buries arrows in the target. I think I know someone that has a chronograph, and one of these days here when the weather's a bit nicer, I might see if I can get together with them and chronograph it, see what the arrow speed is. But it works really well. Here. Seeing if you can see that, so you can see what I did. I'm going to make another bow. I'm not going to do the center one, but I'm just going to do a quick, easy one. Show you guys how to make them. It only takes about an hour in your own kitchen, and the only real tools you need is a couple of boards or 2x4s, some paracord, and a pot, like your cooking pot. But we'll get to that. I'm going to point at you at the target and let you Alright, just going to show you how these arrows are hitting that target. With the broadhead, I don't think I'd have any trouble whatsoever killing most game in North America. Alright, let's grab a 5-foot piece, we'll head inside and I'll show you how I made it. Okay, this is just a board that I cut out in my garage. I made it 2.5 feet long, so it goes right to the center of the bow, so when I actually do my press, I just got to run the PVC to the end of it. But that's all it is you could use a 2x4, this just happened to be something I had. Made a couple spacer blocks that are the same height as the PVC. And that keeps you from compressing the handle. But that's all you need is that. It's going to be your clamp. You might want some insulated gloves or some pot holders. And a metal pot. We're going to use this to actually make our recurve on the end of the bow. But let's go ahead and get started. What I did, I measured to the center of the bow. I made a mark, and then I made 2 marks about 2 inches each. It just kind of gives you your handle. But we might as well get started. So, all I'm doing to heat it up, I've got the stove turned on. Wouldn't want to do this over a flame probably, unless you kept it really high over it. You don't want to burn it. What I've noticed is this gives off no smell or anything when you do it this way. So it doesn't make the house stink or nothing. But just keep rotating it and working it from basically the center of the bow, just a little bit outside your handhold here, to the end. And I've timed it now. It takes a good about 5 minutes of heating it to get it flexible enough to put in the press. Maybe 6-7 minutes. Okay, been at it now for about 4 or 5 minutes. You can see it's getting pretty flexible. but you can see how it's got parts of it that aren't completely flexible. So that's a good way to kind of check your heating process and see how you want a nice even curve through it like that with no hard spots. That'll tell you you're about ready to put in your clamp. There. Okay, I'm ready to put that in the clamp now, so we're going to do that next. Alright, now we're going to put it in our clamp. And I like to run it just right up to the center of the handhold. You put your board on it and push down. It's easiest to squish that side first and kind of work your way up. And once you do that, then you can just stand on it. And let it cool enough to where it'll hold its shape. Probably take a good 3 minutes to stand here. Alright, just pulled it out of the clamp and it looks pretty good. Got a little bit of a curve to it, but all you gotta do is reheat it a little bit and bend it. You don't have to heat it till it's super flexible, just enough where you can actually mold it. If you look, it's got a nice taper from the handle all the way up. Now, I'm going to show you how to put the recurve on. Now what I do, I measure down about 6 inches and make a mark. Just kind of gives me a reference point. And then we got to reheat it again. Now all I'm doing is reheating this end. I get enough flex. I want the flex to get at least to that mark. A little bit over it won't be bad, but you got to at least get to the mark that you made so you're even on both ends. And as you heat it, you notice it'll go back to, try to go back to round, and that's fine. It'll get flattened out. Okay, I got it heated to there. Now I'm going to show you how we make the recurve. Alright, this is when your pot comes in handy. You put this on there flat and you flatten it down. All I do is grab a couple pot holders and put over it, and I rotate it just enough so it's just touching the ground, and it's just a matter of holding it until it regains its shape, or holds its shape. Like I said, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes or so. So I'm just going to pause right now and go back when it's all done. Okay, I just checked it. It's holding its shape now, so it's cool enough. That's how you get your recurve in it. Now all I gotta do is make sure it lines up. You want your bow to be straight, flat. You know, you want those to line up, so you gotta look down it. And if it's a little bit off or twisted, just heat it up a little bit and just torque it with your hands. That's all there is to it. Now we're just gonna go out in the garage, cut the string knock for it, and get her strung up. Okay, it's actually, the bow's completed. I've made a string for it. One thing you'll find out with the paracord is it stretches a lot. So when you make it first, once you get it strung, it'll stretch the cord and it'll end up too long. What I found works good is just let it sit overnight, and the next day it'll be all stretched out, and then you can shorten it to get to the right length. But I'll show you how we made the knock. All I did was take a hacksaw and cut these shapes out of it like this, so it'd have a place for the string to hold on to. And then I took a rat tail file, which you could use a piece of sandpaper if you don't have one, and filed any place the string is going to be touching around that in a nice smooth, so there's no sharp edges that would possibly cut your string. But now we're just going to get her strung up and shoot a couple arrows out of it, see how she does. Well, I'm not going to go into all the archery stuff. You can find all kinds of videos on that on YouTube. This bow isn't actually finished. I plan on wrapping the handle and painting it, making it look nice, but when you string a bow, it should be, put your hand on it like this with your thumb up. If it's properly set for you, it'll be right at the tip of your thumb. The string's still stretched a little bit there, but it's close enough. I'd consider it fine. Check it, make sure it's not bowed or anything. Make sure your string's straight on it. Looks pretty good. Give it a couple pulls. Oh, it's got a good draw. That's still a good, that's over 35 pounds it feels like. Maybe right up to about 40. But let's grab some arrows and send them at the target, see how she does. Here goes nothing. I know it's only 12 feet that I'm shooting at, but it's just enough to see how the bow does. Wow. It actually shoots very smooth. That works perfectly fine. That'd easily kill a deer with a broadhead. Like I said, 10-foot piece of this 1-inch PVC pipe costs a little over $5. You can make 2 bows out of one piece. By the time you add in a little bit of paracord, you probably spent less than $6 on a bow like this. In a survival situation, maybe urban, for some disaster scenario or something, a lot of houses have PVC pipe in them. You could find that, cut some pieces off with your multi-tool or whatever you wanted, and make a bow. You could heat it up next to a fire, and roll it over a log, whatever you needed to do. And you can make a long bow just like this too. If you don't have to put the recurves in, make it about 6 foot long. All right, well, I'd say it's definitely a good thing to know how to do, and a very easy project. I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you check out Zombie Apocalypse Survival Camp website and the Facebook page, and look for more videos from Razor Sharp, Simple Man's Outdoors.